let's begin. This is pretty simple. The bearings are already installed. I didn't remove them, they were already like that. And my crank slipped right in. I noticed that sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. I do have a crank puller, but this one just so happened to slip right in. Now we can put these in. Make sure there's a washer at the bottom of this one. The other one does not have a washer. Okay. Best thing to do is kind of to hold them together. Align it up with the hole. Put your hand on the other side because it could get stuck in there. But you also have to hold that one washer in on the bigger sprocket side. Sometimes that may take a few tries. It doesn't always become that easy. If you hear the bottom grinding, that's completely fine. When we install the forks, it will be much better.
If you like what you're seeing, consider subscribing.
The fork direction is pretty simple. You got right for the right case, which is labeled R. It goes all the way down and it slips into the only sprocket that has a groove for the fork to slip into. And you have left for the left side case, which is the case that is going on top. Slip it right into here, go right up and down. And C for center is in center shaft. We can install our shift drum. Make sure you have a pin, or there's a pin there, or one day you'll need it because it's very important. Okay, I can install that. Make sure it spins freely. We're gonna hook up our fork, starting with the bottom one. You'll have to lift up the gear a little bit. You can lift it up from whichever way you feel comfortable. Play around. Once it's in that groove, it will slip in pretty good. Hold it in the bottom while you twist the gear drum to slip in the top sprocket. Once you got one side in, you can put your shaft. Now we go for the other one. Okay, note something really quick. If you flip this over, this bearing can come out while you push the shaft. So you'll have to tap it in, otherwise you will not get a good finish here. Now, what I like to do is flip it and just put the bracket on the other side to hold the bearing there from moving until I reach back to the other side. So let me do that. I probably could have done that before. I'm gonna have to tap this in a little bit. Taps in probably very easily. I'm gonna use a rubber hammer. Hold my whole assembly here so it doesn't come out. Ooh, that went in. Wow. Okay. I've done this a bunch of times, and I've noticed that pops out on me a lot. So that is why we're going to put this bracket here. To hold that bearing in place. If you're confident your bearing did not move, you don't have to do this. Okay, I'm gonna go through all my gear operation. I'm in first. If I hold this, it's not move. If I turn this slightly, I am neutral. Hold my center shaft. It's not moving. Shift. By the way, when you're shifting, get this case off. These might pop out of place. You gotta make sure you press everything down mostly every time you shift. I like to do this until I feel like it's shifting smoothly. So now I feel very calm. Now we can begin our install.